Woods, where there's a story in every bottle.
We're out here.
Cheers.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live again?
We are back. It's another Monday night. Cheers. Cheers. Welcome, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you once again for joining us for our Monday Live. We've renamed it, if you haven't noticed. It's now...
Monday live?
It's called Proudly Contrarian Monday Night Live.
Oh.
And I think that really fits. We got our new brand, and I certainly am proudly contrarian, and as I think Ken and Chuck are, that's why we came up with this brand.
Yeah, I'm a little contrarian.
Yeah. So, and this show, I think, as we've been doing this show for 3 years now, is certainly as contrarian as it gets sometimes. So, yeah, it's a new name. So. Before we get going, I want to welcome our guest here, but I want to also do our little preamble. If you're joining our show for the very first time, thank you. We appreciate it. And we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe underneath where Ken just was.
Well, that's
There's
where I was.
Subscribe button.
But I moved.
And if you're on Facebook, there's a little bell on the screen somewhere. Look for that little bell. If you click it, you'll subscribe to our Facebook channel. By subscribing, you'll just get notifications when we go live. And we go live almost every Monday, all year round, and then occasionally we'll go live from some random place on a ski slope or on an ocean somewhere or in the woods. Who knows? We're trying to have some fun with this. So please subscribe to our channels, and then also, if you're here, make yourself known. Say your name in the comments so we know you're here. And if you're having a beverage tonight, let us know what you're drinking. We're always interested in that. And if you enjoy what you're seeing on this show, please like and share the show with your friends and family who you think might appreciate the topic of conversation as well. And I think I've covered it all. So
once I tried to hold my breath when he did that, and I turned
you
purple.
can't do it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried.
Oh, it's a great intro.
But I was hoping that we get through it and all that sort of stuff, and it might be fun. But it's really hard for me to just sit quietly and hear that every week. But I'm getting better.
It's asking a lot of you, Ken. I know. I really appreciate that you're.
You know me. I'm 8 years old.
Take the moment to be quiet for 1
Yes,
minute while we do an intro.
You would think an adult could be able to just handle that
I
fine,
would
right?
think, yeah. But whatever. We said we're all growing younger now as we get older, right?
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. So what are we drinking today, everybody? We just cheers? We cheers
Yes.
to our Lake House White.
This is Lake House White.
So, and what are you drinking out there in the world? Let us know. And let's see, we have Drew with us today, and Christine,
Awesome.
and
Hi,
Matt's
everybody.
here, of course.
Excellent.
And I don't see anybody else for the moment.
You want to know why I chose Lake House White?
Yeah.
Because some of the rhubarb that's in this wine came from this guy.
Oh my goodness.
So that makes a good
That's why I chose
segue
that.
to
Right. So there I go. I just
See if I can
send
find
it back.
Yeah, so thank you. So everybody, we're here today, as you probably know if you saw the marketing for this show. We're here to talk with Steve. And Steve, I'm going to ask you to pronounce your last name. So
Cybulski.
Steve Cybulski. We have known Steve for probably 10 or 12 years now, since the very early days when Hermit Woods was located at
your
my
house.
home.
Yep.
And I met you for the first time at a farmer's market over in Meredith, actually, at Karen's place over on Straits Road.
Yes.
There was a market there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I don't know how exactly long it ran.
Yeah.
And we sold wine right next to your tent where you were selling
What a
mustard.
great market. It was absolutely
It was a
It
great
was,
market.
yeah.
It was a tiny little thing on a back road, and you pull in, and you see a few cars, and then you see these tents in the back.
Yeah, well attended, it's out of the way,
Yep.
people knew it was there, and it was worth the drive
Yep.
Yeah.
for everything.
And I just learned, speaking of farmers markets, there is a really strong effort to try and get a farmers market in Community Park this year.
Oh, that would be great.
Well, there's a group of people that are trying to plan it,
That would be
and
great.
it's the chambers involved, and Greater Meredith is the Greater Meredith program is involved, and we're seeing if we can get it to happen. There used to be a small community farmers market in Community Park, but it kind of the leadership fizzled out and it went away. But it would be great if we could get that
It's kind of
back.
too bad, in my opinion, that we have massive supermarkets where everything is just brought in. You get it whenever you want, all the time. I much prefer sort of the European market-centric format. You get fresh stuff every
When-
day.
when
and
we-
it changes seasonally, and
This was a remarkable experience when Geraldine and I traded homes with somebody in France, and we lived in Lyon, France for almost a month. And one of the shocking things that we discovered when we went to this home for the first time was their refrigerator was the size of what
like
a
a dorm room
college
fridge.
refrigerator would
Right.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you go into an American household, and most refrigerators are like 12 cubic feet or more, and this thing was like 3 cubic feet. I don't know what the size is, but the point was, and we asked about that. We said, "Wow, it's a really small refrigerator." He said, "Well, we get our food fresh
every day.
every day.
Right.
We stop at the market on the way home, and sure enough, all over the streets of France
Are little
were
markets.
little markets
Yeah.
with fresh food and fresh vegetables, fresh milk, and whatever other ingredients you might need. And it was fabulous. I really liked it. I don't think I even saw a supermarket in the three
They're there
weeks.
now. When I
They're
was
there,
last
yeah.
in Italy a few months ago, one day we went to a supermarket, and it was a supermarket, and it was on the outskirts of the old Roman walled-in town where there were small little markets, but it's coming, it's infecting other places.
Yeah.
Was it like Avignon, or were you there?
I was in Treviso in northern Italy,
Oh, okay.
but
Avignon's in France.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We were in Avignon.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
yeah.
One time.
So we got to know Steve because he was a producer of really
Oh,
wonderful
fantastic
mustard.
mustard.
Yeah.
I can almost still taste the first time I sampled your mustard, and I loved it because it was, I think it was like your base mustard, straight ahead, but it was so intense, so strong. It almost like what's the with a Japanese food with the green.
It's like a wasabi.
Wasabi. So it had like a wasabi effect. It was
Yeah.
clearing my nostrils. I was just wow. And I'm like, is this just mustard? You're like, yeah, it's just mustard. I'm like, how do you? I said, you grind it super fine or something like that.
The wasabi, horseradish, and mustard are all in the same plant family.
Okay.
So you get the same nasal experience from them.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is really fun. And this one just happens to make it work.
How did you get into mustard?
It's an interesting story.
Good.
This is why
And-
we're
and-
here.
And can I open one of these to
Please,
sample?
Yeah, absolutely. The years ago,
Jilly's Dilly. I've never had that one.
oh, it's a dill pickle mustard, which is a lot of fun. I quit eating hot dogs for 10 years, and then I made this dill pickle mustard and started eating them
Hot
again.
dogs
It's
again.
like, yeah, I gotta have a hot dog with that. Are you kidding me? It's
Oh, yeah.
absolutely delicious.
Oh yeah.
And Jilly,
You almost need a spoon.
Jilly is my wife's name, so we named a mustard after her.
Oh,
Jilly Dilly.
great. Jilly
Dilly
Dilly.
Dilly. That's what this is. Jilly Dilly.
what it is.
We should let you know. If you don't know already, and I bet you everybody on the show already knows, but this is Blackwater Mustard Company, and we're going to learn a little more about where. But this is available all over New Hampshire at different locations, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Go to
so-
blackwatermustard.com, look up the list of places you can buy it. And
Great.
if you don't know, if you can't find it, give me a call.
We have it here. It's always on our sandwiches. It's just awesome stuff. Isn't that good? That's like one of those things where you can almost eat it with a spoon. I mean, you're just like.
It's really delicious.
So
So tell us the backstory of how you got
I'm
into
gonna have
mustard.
two.
I did it as a hobby for a while, started at the farmer's market. We started the farmer's market in Contoocook, I think in 2000.
Did you were walking down the street one day and all of a sudden you thought, bing, I should go to farmers markets and sell mustard?
Well, my oldest boy got the recipe from his aunt who stole it from someone else. And he said, Dad,
It's the American way.
I got to show you how to make this stuff. And he did, and I did it as a hobby for a while, and on and off. I did one flavor for I think 8 years, and
Just making it for yourself to eat.
make it for myself.
Or you
to
give it
eat,
away to friends.
or
and-
give it away to friends, or go to the farmer's market weekend,
Okay.
sell 5 jars, sell 6 jars, that kind of thing. I ended up with a surgery gone amok, and I was in and out of the hospital for a couple of years, on crutches, crutching around the kitchen, and my son, of course, being a capitalist, says, you really ought to market that stuff. So we did, and took it, started pushing it a little bit, the one flavor. Went to a farmer's market in Bedford, and an elderly woman came up to me and said, I really like your mustard, but it's too hot. Can you make a cranberry mustard? I had a friend who made a cranberry mustard. I can't find it. So he did the cranberry thing and tried that out. And then a brewery, Henniker Brewery, says, Sierra Nevada makes a beer mustard. Why don't you do that for us? And we, things built up, and
Yeah, so you brought
Just
12
escalated.
different ones. I didn't even know you had. How many total do you
I
have?
think we're down to around 19 or 20 right about now.
Down to 19 or 20. So it's kind of like the way with me making different wines. It's hard to hold back. You have a new idea, a new concept. Do you just do trial batches until you get it where you want it?
Yes.
You're making this
Oh,
stuff as you go.
Absolutely. What do you
Cool.
like about this? Try a little bit. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, tweak and see what happens, and take it from there.
Ah, that's great.
He makes a mustard with your crabapple wine,
That's right.
Yes, we have a crabapple wine mustard.
and he's been doing that, I don't know, for 5 years, 6 years now,
Right.
and everybody loves it.
That's
Yep.
right. That's going to get a revision. We're going to come back and improve.
Ooh,
A new and improved
New and
crabapple
improved
mustard.
wine.
oh,
Coming right around the corner.
awesome.
Give me a month.
So if you didn't know, if you've eaten at Hermit Woods, it's very likely you've already had Blackwater mustard
Yeah.
because we use it all over our eatery.
That's right. Your deli, your
Yeah,
Yep.
lots of our sandwiches have it. It's for sale on our shelves, so many of you have already had it. If you haven't had it, I suggest you go find a location where it's available because you really shouldn't miss it. It's the best mustard I've ever
You guys
had.
ought to just come here and have a sandwich and a glass of wine.
I think that's a good idea too.
Get it together.
So how many places, if you just random guess, is it 20, 30, 50, 100 places around the state you can get your
thinking
mustard?
Maybe 70.
70? Supermarkets?
A lot of supermarkets I don't do. Supermarkets are tough for small people like me. We do small batches, we do them by hand. We do not mass produce, and as a result, it's hard to hit a price point
Yeah,
for a supermarket.
yeah.
We do
Right. We have the same sort of thing with our stuff
a lot
too.
of places
Yeah.
like you guys, mom and pop grocery stores, farm stands, small restaurants.
We talk about this a lot. When people talk about $2 chuck, it's the
Yeah.
wine that's sold for $2 a bottle. You have to make millions and millions of gallons of wine
Right.
to sell it for $2 a bottle, and the person who's selling it,
So good, man.
well, for $2, you know.
Yeah, right.
And actually, you say that, it's kind of funny, as wine goes, it was good. We're living in like the wine mecca of our time,
Yeah.
because 100 years ago, very few people got to drink good wine. We didn't know how to transport it. We didn't know how to package it. We didn't know how to take care of it. And so only the wealthiest of wealthy got to actually have wine when it was fresh and when it was meant to be drank, or stored correctly if it was aged.
Yeah.
And so today we can make wine at much higher volumes. We can do it at a price that's much more reasonable. We've learned how to package it. We've learned how to ship it. So somebody learned how to make it for $2 a bottle and sell it around the country. But that's factory made. That's
Yeah.
processed food.
right.
That's not fresh wine. Nobody's down there in the cellar like Ken is trying to figure out the right temperature to ferment it at, and the right yeast, and the right how much pressure to press it at, and all these things that we have to think about to make the wine we make. And it's just made by chemistry. It's
29-cent
processed food.
cheeseburger.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right, exactly. Yeah, the mass-produced stuff. Absolutely.
No, you guys do a
So,
great job.
so you sell it, move it by word of mouth, you by farmers markets. Do you reach out and try specific vendors or places that you think the mustard is a good fit?
Yeah, and it's funny because we self-distribute,
Okay.
which is a good thing and a bad thing. Keeps costs down and lets me be in control because I want control.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. And that makes it a lot easier rather than having somebody else making mistakes. I'll make them myself. But it's good that way. I don't want to get too big. There's an opportunity to. I had an opportunity to try to expand and kind of shied away from it.
So you never thought about, or maybe you did think and decided not to, have someone produce it for you and distribute
That's
it, like a
right.
genuine local,
Yeah.
craft it, they make it to your formula, they produce it, you can spot check it, make sure it's done right,
Yeah.
but then you're removed from actually doing it. It'd be
Right.
like someone else making our wine and selling it for us.
And Genuine Local is a great outfit.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Does a fantastic job. And they helped me out at one point. I needed to use their kitchen
Huh.
for about a year, half a year, and I learned a lot from those guys.
That's another group we could have here.
Fantastic. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
folks, we know them well. Yeah.
They've expanded. I believe they're in Laconia.
They're in Laconia now, yep.
With a great big new place. And it's funny because the way I have this set up,
Where do you make this, at your house?
I have turned the place that used to be my house into a mustard manufacturing facility. FDA came in and said, okay, you're shipping over the state lines, now you have to abide by these rules, things are different.
So does it have to be a commercial kitchen,
It's
right?
a commercial
Okay.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Not only that, FDA acidified food manufacturing facility, and I got the 20-hour certificate on the wall, so everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, a couple people know you. Sarah Niemeyer. Do you know Sarah?
Oh, Sarah, I love
She's
you.
joined us. And
Thank you.
Shannon Silver.
Sarah.
Shannon, how you doing?
Yeah, a couple
All right.
people from your neck of the woods, I think.
That's great. Yeah, Sarah is back in Upper Michigan. I went to high school.
Oh, really?
She's in my sister's class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, amazing. And somebody who loves wine, talk to Sarah. She knows wine.
Awesome.
She also says you can order your mustard online.
She knows how to do it.
So
Oh.
you can go to your website and order this mustard, have it shipped to your house.
Absolutely.
Across the country?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world?
BlackwaterMustardCo.com.
That's awesome. What percentage of your business ends up going out of the state?
Oh, we ship out of, most of our mail order stuff goes out of the state.
Yeah.
People, if they can get it in, 80% of online sales go out all over,
Of your total sales, how much is online?
Maybe 30%.
Oh, so pretty big.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Wow, fantastic.
It's,
That's great.
it's
Because
like a
we've got
leaky
viewers all
faucet.
over the country, so.
Yeah.
I got a good buddy who lives out in LA, Greg, and he loves good, high quality products, and he's come all the way out here to visit us and visit the winery. And
Yeah.
if he's on, or if he watches it later on, Greg, you should try this mustard. It's awesome.
Do you guys
It's really good.
do a lot of shipping?
We do. It's probably,
10%.
10% or so
Is it
of our
hard to
total.
ship?
Well,
You gotta
There's some
special
rules
permits?
it's
because
a lot harder for wine than it is
We-
mustard.
we go through a company that is licensed in all the states, so they take care of the licensing and they take a chunk of the
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
So we go through a group called Vino Shipper. They're out of California, and they help a lot of small wineries. So it opened us up to, 30 or 40 states that we can ship legally to. But they handle the legal part of it. We package it, UPS picks it up, takes it to the place.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Everybody wants a piece, I guess.
So
Well,
I see
the
some. I
company
see.
that we work with, the company we work with ships through UPS, so we have to use that company because we're just a drop shipper.
Okay.
So the company we work with holds licenses in 39 states. And then they sell the wine, they collect the money, and then they tell us, ship so much wine to this company, and then they pay us for the wine.
If you wanted to ship yourself, would you have to have
A license?
39 separate licenses?
39 separate
Licenses, 39.
It ain't gonna
separate-
happen.
39 separate.
We'd have to have a whole accounting
reports
department.
every month.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, forget it.
Forget it.
That's,
Forget it.
So we have a question from our audience. Is all Irish mustard whole seed? And I don't know if you know the answer to that. That seems like a
Irish.
big
I
question.
do not know the answer to that.
It would seem hard to believe, but
I'm unfamiliar with Irish mustard. If someone could give me a reference, I could check it out and try to find out.
is all of your mustard whole seed?
No.
No, not at all.
We
yeah.
do
I'm looking at some of these. They're mixed.
some of them.
Yeah.
We do maybe 10 whole seed mustards. We do 2 or
What's the
3.
difference?
Well, whole seed, you got the little crunchy balls in there that
It's like
float around.
I used to eat that stuff. I first discovered it when I went to Europe, and it's like little granular
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
there's no creaminess to it. There's no spreadability.
Yeah,
It's just
got some
seeds.
traction.
A bunch of seeds. I see some of these that are a combination,
Yeah. Now
where you
that-
have a combination of whole seed and ground stuff.
Yeah, the garlic
the-
is a stone ground and whole seed kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the Pope is a double whole seed. Brown
Double whole seed.
It's
What's that?
yellow and a brown whole seed in a honey
So
mustard.
tell me about this one, Pope Poupon.
Pope Poupon is a funny story.
Christ, it's good.
That's what it says.
That's what it says right on the
Better
label.
believe it.
Guilt and gluten free.
Tell
All
me
right.
what.
I'm going to put this atheist to a test here.
Yeah, I had a buddy who makes candles, and he made candles for the Vatican. And he wanted me, because he makes candles, he also has bees, and he has beeswax. And he says, "I got all this honey. Make me a mustard, would you?" So I made 4 different kinds of mustard. Let his whole,
Try that one.
let everyone in his company check it out, and they all voted on it, and they still couldn't come up with an idea of which one to have. I said, "Okay, Martin, what are we gonna do?" He said, "Well, I just can't decide." I said, "I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make my own mustard called Pope Poupon." See, he made one candle for the Vatican for like 9/11, sold it to him for $21,000 for a candle.
What?
Yeah,
It was a fundraiser?
no, it was for a ceremony where the
my
Pope was
goodness.
like, it's like, well, you gotta be kidding
Must have been a
me,
beautiful
man.
candle.
Yeah, it had gold on it.
Well, there you go.
And
So if you put
beeswax.
gold on that, could you sell it for 21,000?
I was hoping to.
Yeah.
You ought to give it a try anyway.
So I did that pretty much, the bust.
Isn't that good?
Bust his chops, and came up with that, and that's the reason with the Pope thing. All of the profits that we make from that go to the food pantry. You go to
Oh,
supporting
awesome.
the homeless, you know,
That's fantastic.
sell the
That's
Vatican
great.
and feed the world.
So what is poupon? They're obviously gray poupon. I mean, what does that mean?
Poupon, I believe, from my
Of the
research,
Pope, right? Of the.
is somebody made a mustard for the Pope back in the 15 or 14 or something like that. And was his name Poupon? He called it Poupon, something like that.
Right.
But it's a variety of mustard that is supposed to be made with just like a splash of wine or something.
And do you have a splash of wine in there?
Oh, that's Dijon, excuse me.
Oh,
No, the
yeah.
Poupon is a different deal.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dijon has wine, gotcha.
Yeah.
So if
But that has honey in it. There's local honey.
There's local honey in there.
it's so delicious. I should just eat it. Like
I know. That's another one I could just spoonful it, sort of thing.
12 different flavors on the table there, right? You brought
Right.
12 different flavors.
Yes.
If of all the ones, is there a particular one? And I hate it when people ask us this question, but
Right.
is there a particular one on that table that gets you really excited? This just like, wow, I'm
Yes.
so happy with this one. This one.
It depends. Well, that outsells everything. To
You're
one
guiding the
original
witness.
hot take.
I'm not trying to influence.
It depends what you're having. It's like your wine. You like a wine? What do you eat?
course.
Okay.
Great answer. Great answer. Yeah.
I have one that is named after my grandfather. It's A.J. Cybulski's.
Oh, I got to try. I saw the label for that. That's your father?
That's my grandfather.
It's your grandfather.
Yeah, up from Upper Michigan. And
Hold on, I'm going to try the hot and sweet.
hot and sweet school.
Yeah. This is a classic one, right?
That's the one.
This is the one that you started with, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People sometimes refer to that as a champagne mustard.
Yeah. This was the one I remember. This is what I had at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It was an early one, yeah.
Gets right into your nose.
oh yeah.
That's the one.
You know what? My favorite time. We every year for the fishing derby and the pond hockey, we do brats.
Yeah.
And we put them on this roll with just and we go through so much of your mustard that day because when I'm doing it anyway,
You
I didn't do
slather
it
that
last
stuff
year,
on there.
but when I'm doing it out on the barbecue, out on the deck, I just can't put enough. I just slather so much mustard across that bun,
And people love it.
and they love it. It's what it needs to be. It's
Well, now, when you do brats, do you boil them in beer and onions?
no, we barbecue them.
And then barbecue them.
Well, no, we buy the brats we get are the smokehouse brats from
Okay.
the New Hampshire Country Smokehouse, I think it is.
Yeah.
And they're pre-cooked, so we just throw them on the barbecue, get
Gotcha.
them singed up nice and nice and hot, and then we slather a ton of mustard on them. But I'm interested to know this other idea because I could do this at home.
Yeah, get a Johnsonville brat or a local-made brat.
Yep.
Boil it in beer and onions.
Yeah.
Then grill it and have it with sauerkraut.
Yeah.
And A.J. Cybulski's Polish mustard.
That's
the stuff right there.
the Polish mustard.
So we got it almost right. We do our brats with sauerkraut. Sauerkraut and mustard.
Oh, you're
Absolutely.
doing it right then, yeah.
That's the only way,
That's
in my
the- yeah,
opinion,
you
to do a
got it.
proper.
Oh yeah.
With a
This
big
is
crusty bun, man.
see what gives that sort of sour lemony.
It's a secret.
No, I know. I don't need to know the secrets. I'm just going to eat your mustard from here on out for sure. But
Nice.
I don't need to know any secrets. I just
Yeah. Now,
just
any
in general terms. I mean, it's like most of the stuff.
bratwurst or summer sausage or anything like that, that's the stuff to have,
Yeah.
is AJ's. And when you guys do that for the Blackwoods, let me know. I'll get you a couple half gallons and set you up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this has
Every
more
year
of
we
that.
always in buy it in bulk from you for the
Yeah.
eatery, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we got the big jars.
Yeah.
That's it.
We put it in a squeeze tube. Just
Yeah, no goofing around.
can't get it.
Yeah, this has a little bit more of the like yellow mustard
Yes.
flavor to it,
Yeah,
to me. And I don't know what.
it is.
So mustards.
This is all it's a different blend, all natural wheat.
Mm.
There's no sweeteners. There's no dairy in it. No nothing. This
Yeah.
is just a straightforward.
Yeah,
old
vegan
world
and
kind of
gluten-free.
thing.
That's what I
Yeah.
see on every one of them. Excellent.
Oh wow.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's happening.
That's
I'm so glad that I tried this because sometimes I really like that yellow mustard. That's got its own character.
There's a place
Yeah.
for everything.
There's a place for it, like you said, yeah. And you've nailed it. You know,
I've
it's
done.
like, you don't always
Sometimes
want
I'll mix a couple mustards. I always have a few different mustards around, and sometimes I'll
a blend, a mustard blend.
mix a mustard blend.
I have a
So-
buddy who is a vegetarian. He takes the garlic, mustard, and puts ketchup in it. He mixes it up and puts it on vegetables.
Well, isn't it like
Don't ask me
a
why.
classic American burger is ketchup and mustard, right?
No, it's not. It's just all wrong. Those two should never be mixed,
Really?
according to me.
Wow.
Ever.
That's like Chicago.
Well, the world
man.
according to Ken.
You get shot for putting ketchup on a hot dog in Chicago.
That's right. Chicago dog.
I think if you got the right mustard, you don't want to put anything else on it. The
No.
mustard just kills it.
Well, this is a real treat right here too. I'm about to open up a big old bottle of stuff that somebody brought
Yeah,
for
because
us.
my
here.
glass is empty.
I know, mine too.
We need to see what's in
I'm
there.
eating all this wonderful.
Tell me.
Mustard.
What is it that Ken is opening there, Steve?
That
Well,
is-
this says Stone Cellars Merlot from California, but
Looks
I
like a
highly
wrong
doubt
color.
it based on the color.
someone may have put some bleach in there. I'm not sure.
Thank you, sir.
So this is made with your rhubarb, is that right?
That's right.
Is this a straight rhubarb wine?
I believe it is.
Smells like a straight rhubarb wine.
Let's see what happens.
Wow. What an interesting nose.
Because I make some straight rhubarb wines. Yeah, it's nice.
I tried making it with strawberries before, and it got a little. I don't have the balance right. It got just a little too sweet.
So what I do with strawberry rhubarb, I use to 500 pounds of strawberries, I use 20 pounds of rhubarb. So there's a lot of strawberries to rhubarb ratio.
Yeah.
And you still taste the rhubarb coming through.
And this is 100% rhubarb.
That's 100% rhubarb.
Yeah.
So, how much volume of rhubarb? I mean, maybe you don't. You know, for like a volume of liquid, you have to obviously add water, and rhubarb and sugar. And what kind of volume of rhubarb goes into this?
15 pounds
For
into a 6-gallon bucket.
Just fill it up with water.
Some honey, a little raisins, some water,
Yeah.
champagne.
Let her rip.
yeast. See what happens. You can have the sunlight.
That's country winemaking right there.
It's
That's perfect.
Different every time, but
And
it's
different every
always
time.
good.
That's right.
It's like
well, cheers.
Yeah.
It is good.
Cheers. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
Thank
Awesome.
you, gentlemen.
So why when you moved to your current place where you grow the rhubarb, was there already rhubarb there, or did you decide to grow rhubarb?
No, we brought it in. Like I mentioned, a friend of mine went to Nova Scotia, and he said the people up there like to make their rhubarb wine. It's a good thing. It's a cheap way to go, and it works. So we brought some rhubarb in. I think 2 plants, and split them and split them and split them
Yep.
and split them. As the years went on and got into making the wine, I think I'm now up to maybe 60 plants from those 2, and they just keep going. And the thing is right. Sometimes you try to grow things, it doesn't happen.
Yep.
The rhubarb at this place just works.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah, some of the rhubarb that you gave me of your rootstock,
Oh,
a
good,
couple
yeah.
of them went, but some of them didn't like where they are.
Yeah.
They just don't like it for whatever reason. I've done the same thing with elderberries around my yard.
Right.
Sometimes I stick them in the ground when I prune them, and I stick the things in the ground. Some take off, and they're still there today, and they're big, giant elderberries. Others just wither and don't go anywhere.
That's the
They
funniest
just
thing.
stay stunted.
I brought 3 down to my sister. She's on in Connecticut, right on Long Island Sound. Put some in there, and those things they're pathetic.
They didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't do a thing. But these things, you like where they are, and it works there. So
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, you learned after we started carrying your mustard here, you learned that he had rhubarb plants, and you.
Yeah,
hooked
I
up
don't know
to
when
get
I don't know
rhubarb
when I
for your
first
wine.
first got rhubarb from you. I think early on, the scale at which we were producing wine was small enough that I was getting enough rhubarb from a couple friends. I'd go over and pick it in their yard, and
Well, remember we had the Hermit Shares program in the very early days when we first opened. If you brought fresh fruit that we used to make our wine from,
Yeah.
we would give you Hermit Shares in exchange.
I think that is what drew me in. I remember Jill told me. I remember going to their house where you guys were either selling out of the front room or the basement.
Out of
that's
my
out of his
bedroom.
Out
bedroom.
of your bedroom, yeah, okay. And she went, yeah, we brought rhubarb there, and I think we made off with 1 or 2 bottles, which is a
Yeah.
fair trade for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works.
yeah.
out
I think
well.
that's how I got started. And
We actually didn't do that.
yeah, no,
No, didn't it?
no.
That didn't happen.
We gave him a
He's
piece of paper that
mistaken.
gave him
Yes.
purchasing power.
Exactly.
And then
Oh,
you
right.
purchase wine with it. We did not give you wine for your rhubarb.
It's all coming back to
Yeah,
me
it's
now.
coming back. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's back, when I would use 20 or 30 pounds of rhubarb, and now I need, a couple 100 pounds
Yeah.
of rhubarb.
But with 60 plants, you must be able to easily get there.
Yeah, the stuff's nuts. It just grows. It's in the right place at the right time. I put it in an old pig pasture. I used to raise hogs. I had hogs in there for, I think, 12 years.
Oh, yeah. So
And,
that's some rich soil.
The soil is just
Nitrogen.
amazing.
Yeah.
And then we augment it with seaweed and some other manure from
Oh,
time
do you?
to time.
Do you go down and harvest seaweed in the ocean, or do you buy it already?
No, try to get it, try to drive down. You can go to Sea Point Beach in Maine, because Maine lets you take seaweed, New Hampshire will not.
Ah, okay.
And they're really
Good to know.
about it.
We're pretty close.
Yeah. Go across the river, drive down there.
Yeah, and you're fine. You can take it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some beaches, they let you take the rocks. Others, they don't. You can't take the rocks.
Yeah, go figure.
Maine won't let me take the rocks.
Really?
Yep.
Well, bring some. Trade them for seaweed. Hey, take that. Now we're even.
So you have some mustards here that are made for breweries.
Yes.
How did that all get started?
Well, so you said in the very beginning. Well, which brewery was it?
Oh, the Henniker Brewery.
Henniker.
Yeah.
I have Tuckerman here.
Yeah.
I have, oh, that's a new one. This is
Georgia's North
Georgia's
Side.
North Side, Southern Kitchen and Beer Market, smoked jalapeno mustard.
Well, we got to try that.
Yeah, you got to give it a shot.
This one
gotta
doesn't
try
say it's vegan.
It's not. It has eggs in it.
Oh, this one has eggs in it. All
That
right.
one has eggs in it.
All right.
This guy, Alan Nictal, came out of
So-
Manhattan. He has Georgia's North Side smoking.
Ooh,
down in
this
Manhattan,
this is
Brooklyn.
reminiscent of your hot and sweet
It is hot and
Is that the
sweet
base?
with jalapeno.
with jalapeno added. Okay.
Yeah.
While he's
Yeah.
trying that, I'm curious. What makes the yellow mustard flavor that made that yellow mustard different? Is it vinegar?
They all have the vinegar. that was
In
the
AJ's,
vinegar.
I think he's talking
No,
about
but
AJ's.
that-
AJ's?
Yeah. What makes it taste like yellow mustard? What is it?
Probably yellow mustard, right?
I really can't tell you. I wish I knew, but I couldn't.
What's the
I
ingredient difference that makes it?
I
Must-
use 5 different kinds of mustard and blend them for various products. So I could have some of the same mustards in every product, different mustards in other products. In different grades, the more you grind them, they have a grade.
But
and
you
then there's
must have
trackseed.
been going for that yellow mustard flavor. I mean, you didn't just happen upon it.
How many different
accidentally,
types of
right?
mustard are there?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, like the mustard plant.
I don't know that.
So where do you buy your mustard from?
I get it from a distributor who gets it from a mill out of Hamilton, Ontario.
Okay, so it's out of Canada. Do they have like a catalog that you can look
Yeah,
for?
you can go online.
Because isn't there like black mustard and yellow
Yes.
mustard and white mustard
The
and
black seeds and the yellow seeds, when I use the double whole seed, those are the two that I mix together.
okay.
And most of the mustards that I use for the products are yellow seed derivatives
Okay.
There's 3 things in here.
in various grades. Go figure, huh?
Dry mustard, sugar. No, 4 things. Oh no, this one, I didn't see that. So there's vinegar and eggs. So there's 5 things in here.
Yeah.
But
They're all it's very simple
smoked
ingredient list.
jalapenos.
They're just done.
All right. So this guy's been doing a barbecue thing. He's on the Today Show and Good Morning America when he's running out of New York, and he moved back up here to help take care of his mom. Opened up a little place in just north of the prison in Concord, Georgia's Northside Barbecue. Amazing, amazing food.
So we should get down there and
Oh,
try
I got to
this.
try
You
that.
get down there and
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Why don't you make me a mustard? I'd like a smoked jalapeno." Okay. You
I
get
like-
a bunch of smoked jalapenos. and
I
we
get it on the residual too in
Yeah,
my mouth.
right at
It
the end of
lingers.
it.
It comes through in the end because at the
Yeah.
beginning it reminds me of your hot and sweet.
It's
It's very
similar
much like the
food.
hot and sweet. I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the jalapeno? But it's on that back. As soon as you swallow it and you finish the taste, then the
Yeah.
jalapeno comes up, and I can, it's like a retronasal. Like when I exhale, I can sort of taste that
I actually-
jalapeno coming through.
Do you want to work for me? Promote it, man. That's great.
It's awesome stuff.
I got the smoke on the front.
I didn't
Oh,
pick
you
up the
did?
smoke. My nose is a little congested though, so maybe that's my
Yeah,
my
this-
olfactory sense is not.
It
up
wasn't
to
as
par.
much. I don't recall as on the nose as much as the very first taste. I got this hint
Of the smoke?
That I knew it was. It wasn't obvious smoke, but I knew it was coming from the smoke character of the jalapenos.
yeah, the thing I like about that is it's not the heat up front that pounds you. It's right at the end when you're not thinking about it. Then you find it.
That's my favorite kind of heat.
Yeah,
One that kind of
isn't it
builds slowly and then lingers.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
there's-
very subtle. It's a nice. It's a
So
nice
I see the
blend.
trend here where you hook up with people and work with them.
Cross promoting is
Cross
always fun.
promoting, cross pollination.
Well,
yeah, that's it. Just like with our crab
we
apple.
figured this out eventually too, right?
Yeah.
We're cross promoting with Tamworth Distillery.
Yeah, we're
and
doing
with
that too.
Stoneface Brewing, and what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Whole seed spicy. Tuckermans.
How long will these last once you open them?
If you're
refrigerated.
using them right, 3 days. Eat them up. No,
I better stop opening them.
no, it's great. If you put them in the fridge, they're good for 2 years, depending on the date. But
Okay, because I was going to say.
Even after they're open?
I was going to say, because I keep mustard in my fridge for probably a year sometimes.
Yeah.
I just don't get to eating a whole
Right,
jar.
right. And well, you just scared me because I
when you said
always
3
tell
days,
Geraldine, like, oh, we got some mustard back here. This is great. Let's use this. "Oh, it's been there a while, Bob. Yeah, it's fine.
It is fine, but they seem fine, right? They must lose something, but
well, the thing is with the hot mustards, it's going to lose its heat. It's like horseradish. You have it in your fridge for a half a year. It's not going to be as hot as when you open it up, but it's still going to be okay to eat.
That's because of the vinegar and the...
where's
Yeah,
that?
the
Where's
vinegar-
that? Where's that heat go? Does it chemically change into something else?
It dissipates. They told me there's something that just like eventually the clock's running.
Wow.
It's going to go down like that. But you can still eat it. I've had a jar that my mom had open for a year. I sent it to the lab and they said it's good for 2 years. So I like to tell people, I put my date out within a year, but if
Right.
it's 2 years, so okay, what are you going to do?
Refrigerate after opening.
I eat it till it doesn't smell right.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is a long time.
Yeah.
And you can use mustard like for soups, stews, stuff like that. People
Yeah.
don't realize we put it on fish, grill stuff. So
That's awesome. Learning a little bit, we learned the story of how you got started as a mustard maker. We figured out how you grew rhubarb. We got another side to you that is intriguing to me, and that is you're a banjo player. I think I have a tune here I can play. Let's see if we can pull this up, play it for our audience here, see if I can make this work.
nice.
I don't know how that sounds. Let me know in the comments if this sounds okay. What is this that we're listening to?
Moonlight on the highway.
Is that you singing?
Yes.
That says it sounds good.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun song. That was actually written by my friend Eddie Markowski out in Detroit, who had the lyrics, and he sent it out. And our mandolin player, Dave Carroll, I handed him the lyrics, and I said, Dave, can you make any sense of this? He says, 20 seconds later, he says, yeah, it goes like this. Boom, 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 boom. So what we got.
So,
how'd you get into? Have you been
How'd you get
playing
into
since
banjo?
a kid,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, years ago when I was in high school, all my friends had guitars. I didn't have a guitar. My dad bought a banjo for $5 off a bartender who needed some money. It was sitting in our basement. These guys were playing guitars, and I got a banjo. So I got this Pete Seeger book, and I said, okay, I can match the chords and learn, watching these guys play guitars, I play the banjo. And
That's great.
just, monkeyed around with that for... that was 1973. What year is it now? 20?
50 years later.
50 years later.
50 years later is what it is.
I've been
How's that happen, right?
Just goes.
It's just like that,
happens.
right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I've had a lot of fun doing music. It's been a great experience. And
Did you
these
play
guys-
out?
We play out a lot. Peabody's Coltrane is a band we're in now. All these guys have at least 30 years experience playing out in different bands all over the place.
Would you play at local venues around the
We do.
state?
We do a lot of gazebos. We played at the Flying Goose in New London. They got a lot of acts in there.
Yeah, that's a great
National acts
place.
and stuff.
Yeah. We stopped there quite a bit. Good, always good beer. And
Where do we get your schedule? Where do we find you?
Peabody's Coltrane.org, or go to Facebook and Peabody's Coltrane and see what's going on.
Peabody's Coltrane.
Peabody's.
Coltrane, like the John Prine song.
Peabody Peabody's Coal Train. Let's see if
That's
I can find it.
great.
You got a
That's
website?
fantastic.
Yeah, I see it. Peabody's Coal. I'm going to put out there for all of our
Excellent.
listeners
Oh,
to
thank you.
log
Excellent.
in.
That's great.
So
There you are.
So, your life's travels, activities. What have you been, most involved in for the most amount of time? What have you seem multidimensional. You've done lots of things, but mustard is that
Mustard
the
is
last
where
20
it's at
years
right
of your
now.
life?
Mustard has been like spliced into. Let's see, what did I start doing? I taught high school for a year, couldn't take it. Moved out here.
Imagine that.
Jill's been doing it for 20-something years, and she's like, yeah, she can still do it. It's like, God
She's
bless
saying
her.
I should have made mustard.
Yeah, well, she's gonna have an opportunity. So, let's see, did that, came out and did concrete work for 5 or 6 years.
Concrete work.
Concrete, residential walls and
Pouring
floors,
foundations and
that type of thing. Failed at equipment operator, failed at carpentry, failed at logging, and welded for a Caterpillar dealership for over 20 years.
oh, so that sounds like a pretty long run.
That was a long run.
Welding.
It was great. It was paid my child support and insurance for my kids.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a good
Very
thing.
critical.
And got out of that and slipped into mustard. I was doing mustard at the same
Slipped into
time.
mustard.
Slipped into mustard.
Slipped away from caterpillars into mustard.
In the meantime, raised organic hogs for 12 years.
Oh, did you really?
Tried some greenhouse stuff.
Wow.
Starter plants, heirloom tomatoes, that type of stuff. Everything right on the edge, but nothing really took. Not able to market it. But eventually, the mustard was just something that happened.
That
It
worked.
fell into place. If you step in it long enough, eventually it's going to smell like a rose.
Well,
That's
I
a
think
great
you hit it.
story.
You nailed it. 'cause
Yeah, you nailed it.
Well,
Great.
thanks to
Definitely under
guys
it.
like you, that's what makes it happen.
How many jars a year do you make, roughly?
God.
Or how do you judge your volume of?
That's-
Do you make 100,000 of these? Do you make
It's very interesting.
20,000 of
For
them?
the first time, there was a guy looking to take over the company, and I never had any idea. He says, let me go back and go through all of your receipts for the last 5 years and see what you've done.
Right.
So we're still compiling that. I'm still trying to figure out how much I've made.
So
It's
you can almost make it on demand type of thing?
I try to stay ahead of it a little bit.
Okay.
Get a feeling for who's going to buy, when they're going to buy. And, we make it on demand. We're
Okay.
small enough so we're able
That's
to...
nice.
Start to finish.
Yeah, able to take care of people. They get it fresh. They get it now.
What's start to finish? I'm going to make mustard today. Your
I
raw
do
ingredients. How long does it take before
20
you're ready to
gallons a
sell it?
day. I can do 20 gallons a day bottled.
And ready to sell next day?
Yeah. Yeah.
20 gallons, how much is in
Which-
one of these? 8
That's
ounces.
8 ounces, so that relates to maybe 20 to 24 cases.
24 times.
So you're keeping it fresh.
We're keeping
Oh, so
it
that's
fresh.
300 jars or so
Yes.
of these.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah, we do 16-ounce mugs. We do the half gallons, which you will. We do 5-gallon pails.
5-gallon pail.
We do 5.
Who's using those?
Mount Washington Omni, 4 to whack all the time. Man. They got it on the menu.
Mount Washington Omni. Good
That's
for
pretty
you.
special.
That's
Your mustard
great.
served at the Mount
Yeah.
Washington.
Well, this-
Good for them that company, that corporation is bringing high quality local
Yes,
to their patrons.
I am incredibly
You
fortunate.
see that more and more, which is a really great change
Yeah,
in the
they-
world to me.
They don't
you
have
know.
to do that.
They
but
don't have to do that at all. They could get out of some corporate place or
Yeah,
out
they
of
can
some.
get out of Cisco or out of one of those
Yeah,
other trucks,
right.
U.S. Foods or whatever.
But instead, they're getting it from you, making it 20 gallons at a time in your part of your house.
Right, is
That's
that crazy?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
great
ever,
stuff.
do you ever talk to the common man?
Yes.
Guessing no.
Well, we do, it's funny because we do sell at the Hooks-A-Tobles
At the store.
at the store.
But
so
not
so
in
do
the
we,
restaurant.
because we've spoken with
Yeah.
Common Man,
Yeah.
They don't want our wine in their restaurant. They've got a portfolio from somebody that brings them California wine for not much money.
Well, I'm not the Lone
And
Ranger, am I?
but on the hooks at tolls,
Yeah.
they sell our cider and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So okay.
So it's a different deal. I don't
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah, I've talked to the owner Al. He says, talk to my wife. I talked to his wife. And
That's what he said to me.
That's what he said to us. he's got that one down. I'm gonna try your head wall alt.
it's crazy. She was down at my house long before I was doing mustard on a large scale, before we had plumbing. And
Before you had plumbing, there's a
before I
story
had
there.
plumbing in my barn. It
Okay.
was and she's a very nice woman, the gal, And it just, I don't know, just for some reason, they have a different way of approaching buying from local people.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, that's fine. To
Yeah.
each his own.
Indeed.
So you sent me 4 different songs. I played one. Is there another song that you particularly think I should, that you would like me to share? We'll play one more.
Oh, do you see one?
There's the barn song, the
Yeah.
sinkhole, and sleepy trucker.
Oh, the barn song is a funny song. It is about this place we moved into, which is now the mustard factory. When I moved in there, there was no insulation, there's no windows, there's no plumbing. There was a cow stanchion and a 4x6 hole in the floor. And when it would rain, you could go outside to get dry because it rained. The roof was so bad.
One of those, huh?
You know the place, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no foundation, no cellar, and
I love some whole seeds in mustard.
isn't that nice?
Those little pops.
Yeah,
Hey, you chew them. I like this one a lot, Steve. This one's really good.
they're all good.
They're all good. Yes.
The the barn song is a song
I'm
about
going to play that.
We had this skunk that would come in and look for food every night around 6 o'clock, just cruise the inside of the place, and like a bear bulb hanging down. The skunk was, we just saw her. You should walk out and everything's cool.
Got a clear night moonlight and a cedar tree. This old barn sang a song to me.
I like that.
Yeah.
The morning glory's blooming all day long. Even after the sun is gone.
So,
It's the barn song.
That's great.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't have you here.
I think you should.
Oh yeah. You should come play here.
play.
I think you'd have a lot of fun.
I think we need to have
We'd
you
have a
here.
lot of fun.
I think you'd pack the place. They were reluctant to have us at the Flying Goose, and they said, well, you can't do this. We've tried to get in there for years, and they said, you gotta guarantee us this and this and this. We sold the place out a week and a half ahead of time to 25 people who wanted more tickets, who couldn't get in.
We need to talk.
You tell me.
We need to talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so let me ask you this. We have a couple things we do here. We do a couple different types of shows.
Okay.
On Thursday nights, we do what we call a listening room. And the
Yeah.
listening room is really about trying to give the opportunity for the band to play to a quiet audience,
Yeah?
where you get to own the stage and make this what you want it to be. And
they're
engage
not on
with
their they're not on
audience.
their cell phones. They're not talking
They're
to each
just
other.
sitting there paying
They're
attention.
listening to you.
We've served the food. We've got
Yes.
and we ask everybody to be quiet during the show.
That's nice.
Is that something that would appeal to you and your? Because you're, I'm guessing at the Flying Goose, it's not that experience at all. You got a pretty lively audience. People are drinking and talking and chatting with their friends.
The Goose was just like that. It was a listening audience.
It was.
The room was absolutely quiet. It was packed, and they were just like mesmerized, and that's fine. And we can like rip it up too if you want to like have.
Because I was going to
tipped
say
over.
we could do a couple.
Knock
things.
all the
We
tables over and start dancing. Yeah.
We could pick another night of the week and let it be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Or we could have you here in our Thursday night listening room series, and it'd be a listening room.
Let
And
me
we
tell you
asked.
what, Bob, whatever works for you guys, we'll make it happen. We can do that.
I like the spirit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Well, all right, you heard it. here first. You can count on it. We're gonna hear Steve and his band perform on this stage sometime in the near future.
Peabody's Coal Train right here in Meredith.
There you go.
Look for it.
Yeah,
Look for it. There you go.
that's great. Wow.
That's great.
Now, at one point, I think it was this last summer, when you were bringing me some rhubarb, you pulled up on an old Harley.
Yeah.
What?
He delivered rhubarb
You're kidding.
on an old Harley.
89 Ultra Glide Classic. Don't let my insurance guy know about that because he's like, that's not business. This was.
That wasn't business. We
No,
were
it's
just hanging out.
Personal fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so that's fun. I like bikes.
So you like bikes? So we do too. What other personal fun? Like what's something you look forward to doing just for fun? You're done
When
with
you're not
banjo,
making mustard or
you're done with
plucking the-
mustard. You're
the
done with
banjo.
rhubarb,
I love
and
to
you
cook.
Cook. You're a
Cook
cook.
all the time. Man, I love cooking. You guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love. To
No,
cook.
I'm not a cook at all.
Oh, good.
My
I
wife
love to cook. I
cooks.
cook all the time.
He likes to cook.
That's awesome.
I like to eat.
Well, I guess that makes sense because you know you're making mustard.
Makes sense with mustard. You got to
Yeah,
have.
thank you.
That's what's so nice about your mustards. They're all so balanced. They're all
Thank
so unique, nice flavors,
Yeah.
and fresh, and just totally crushable mustard.
Bike riding,
Bike riding, pedal bike,
motorcycles.
motorcycle. Yeah.
Yep, bike ride.
Motorcycles. I've got that. The 89 Ultra Glide. I have a 1957 Servi car, Harley Servi car, like the old meter maid trike.
Wow.
And that only goes 40, and like it pisses people off when I drive it, so I don't drive it all
Yeah.
that much.
And you got to look way ahead to stop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I had an old BMW. I had to make sure I would start to slow down coming up to a stop sign. If something ran in front of me and I had to stop, I wouldn't stop.
And didn't you guys bike down to the Cape, right? Don't you both bike? Motorcycle?
we go all over the place,
We just
yeah.
bought. Both of us just got Triumph 1200s, and we've been riding all over.
What's wrong with that? With the boxes on the
Yeah.
side?
Yeah,
Is this shit?
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you go to Cranberries, did you, with those, or
Rose
No.
hips.
rose hips? Okay.
Yeah, rose hips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right out to the source.
Yeah,
yeah.
right out to the source. Yeah.
Wow, that's so much fun.
It's a lot of fun. That's what's so great about it.
So we're done. We've got an hour here.
Really?
Is there something
Already?
Is there something you want to share? Yeah, this is your chance. Make a pitch. Is there something you want to share with our audience that we haven't talked about or we didn't ask you about that you think is important? Let us know.
Right. Make sure that you guys get to Hermit Woods before Christmas and stock up on your Christmas gifts. This is the place to do it. When you're done shopping, get something great to eat. These guys are fantastic. Support them and come back again in the summer. Make it happen.
And we
Awesome.
didn't pay him to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And while you're here, don't forget to take home some of his mustard.
Some mustard.
Yeah.
We have, I don't know, 6 or 8 varieties of that
Right.
on the
Do,
shelf.
all the time.
All the time. And
I think we
it's
should need to
worth
get
it.
AJ's here,
Yes.
too. We don't have AJ's here. I haven't tried that one.
The mustard.
The AJ mustard,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
His grandfather's.
Sure.
Named for his
Yeah,
grandfather.
Let's do it.
Let's
The one
do
that
it.
has that more yellow character, very
We'll
distinctive.
work it into a menu item.
Yeah, I'm
How's
sure
that?
we could.
Figure something
I'm
out.
sure we could.
So you so before we go, you start thinking about it. We won't do it now, but start thinking about some recipes you could toss our way. Along the lines of our menu, paninis, flatbreads, whatever, that you think is another way we could use your mustard that'd be just super cool. And keep in mind, we don't have a hood, so we can't do anything that's going to require a hood. But so we do, paninis would be a good example. That's something we use your mustard on. Flatbreads, wraps, we use the mustard on some of our wraps. But anyway, think about that, and we'll get a special made that is about something that you designed. You came
Steve's
up
special.
with. We'll call it your special, and we'll put your mustard on it, and we'll put it out for a special for a couple weeks.
You do soups, stews?
Soups, yeah, we do
You
soups.
do coleslaws, salads, vinaigrettes?
We do salads.
We do some
some
salads.
vinaigrettes with some of our wine. So yeah, we got some room there. I'll put you in touch with Alan, and he can tell you what we got capabilities-wise in the kitchen, or Ken, our chef, our cook.
Fantastic.
And you guys come up with something, and it'll be your menu item.
Oh,
and
you're too good.
Sell
Thank
your
you so
mustard
much.
on top of it.
We could do Steve's bratwurst for the pond hockey.
We already do that.
Yeah, well, we could enhance it with his technique.
Pile his mustard on.
That's true.
Boil it in rotten beer. Get some really cheesy beer.
Okay.
Boil those things up with onions. and then grill them.
All right, we're gonna have
Make
to
a
try
difference.
that.
That's-
I think
That's good.
you
That's
hear that,
Wisconsin
Alan? If you're
right
listening,
there.
we got to try the boiled in beer and onions,
Yeah.
and we're gonna let's do that this year. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We barbecuing is a pain, so
That's
this
just-
this would
that's
be
for no
much
money,
easier.
Be a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, you spent
Awesome.
another Monday evening with us. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure sitting here chatting with Steve, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we certainly enjoyed the mustard. Sorry you couldn't partake, but you can. You just have to come on in. You can buy all the
That's right.
mustard you want and enjoy some of it on some of our food. And of course, if you don't want to come in here, you can find this mustard all over the state. Just go to his website. It'll tell you where to find it. Or just buy
Blackwater
it online directly
Mustard.
from him. That's probably the best way. Have it shipped right to your house.
Yep.
I'd come up here.
Yeah.
On an
All right,
old Harley.
everybody. Thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next Monday. We have Dave Kabrensky here.
Awesome.
He's going to be. Oh yeah.
You know
he's-
Dave?
Dave? Oh,
You know
I'll
Dave?
tell you a story about Dave once we're off the air.
All right. All right. So Dave Kabrensky next Monday night. Thank you everybody for joining us. We'll see you next Monday.